I would like to have a chat today. I feel like this will be a long conversation, so I want to come chill, sit outside. Got some pork tenderloin cooking in the kitchen right now. But I figured, there's good lighting out here. Let's just chill, have a conversation. Musician to musician, musician to musician fan, musician to anybody that's a fan of music in general, musician to supporter, whatever the case is. I just want to share this as a musician to share the thought process behind it. So I today posted the first teaser to my live band performance. And I thought it was really cool. I really liked how it sounded. Obviously, I know my voice wasn't perfect in it. I even knew while I was recording it that my voice wasn't going to be perfect because I knew that I wasn't singing properly because I could feel it in my voice and in my body. It didn't feel right. And at this point I know what singing right feels like and what singing wrong feels like. And I felt the tension. I felt my voice getting like hoarse and tired, tension up here. I knew I wasn't breathing properly. But whatever. Then I went back and listened to it and I was like, wow, even with all those factors, I'm surprised at how it sounds. I've definitely seen a lot of progress. The reason I posted the part that part that I posted as a teaser is because I really wanted to showcase how it was super different and super rocky and just totally different vibe, right? I mean, Modern Love's a really chill pop song, and of course we have the rock version, but I really wanted to showcase the new crazy like live band kind of feel with that guitar solo at the end of it. Somebody reached out to me, somebody whose opinion I really value, and they were like, hey, I really don't know how to say this. And I could tell on their voice that they were so nervous. I was like, what? What's wrong? What happened? They were like, that performance video you posted today. I was like, as soon as they said that, I was like, oh, okay. I thought something was like really wrong. So they were like, that performance video you posted today. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And they were like, I don't know if it's your best performance. Like, I mean, like a really big supporter of you. And I just don't know how to say this. And I'm like, okay, it's all good. Like, I welcome this feedback. I want to know. I think I tried starting a company several years ago to get honest feedback, where it would be a site that musicians sign up for, pay a monthly fee, and get honest feedback from other musicians on the site, because it's so hard to get real feedback. They were like, you just sound really like you're straining. It's just, I know what your voice sounds like, and I just don't know if that's the best indication of your voice or best performance of your voice. So I was like, I totally appreciate that feedback, and they were like, so they were honestly to the point of like, I don't know if you should actually post these videos, or if you decide, maybe you don't post them and you just say, you know what, I'm going to shelf them. Maybe I'll use them something down the line, but just, shelf the product and maybe use something else. And I wasn't offended. I wasn't stressed. I was like, that's really interesting perspective. I really appreciate the honest feedback. Let's get some other perspectives. So I sent a couple people a text, including my vocal coach. I sent another person that knows my music really well a text, getting just general feedback. I started, just thinking about myself. I'm like, what happens if somebody discovers my music for the first time? Is it going to be a really good representation? Somebody else said, like, is this something that you would show, A&R reps, or would you not show A&R reps this? Would you be proud to show them? Would you use this as an audition to try to get placement for touring with a band? Or these are all good questions. And then I ended up calling Manny, the drummer, the guy that played drums on this. And I was like, hey, bro, like, I've sent you obviously the mixes that I've been working on, a couple of the mixes to kind of just get a feel for like, feedback on just how the mixes sound, and I want to know your feedback. He's like, honestly, I wasn't really listening like with that intentional of an ear. And I was like, that's actually perfect, because nobody really does. Like, nobody's really like, oh, is he hitting every note? Most people that are watching it only watch it once, first of all, and second of all, they watch it kind of with more of an entertainment aspect than a critical, like, I'm making sure that everything's perfect aspect. And they see the full picture. They hear the guitar, and they hear all the different aspects and see all the visual aspects. There's so many different factors, right? Another thing I want to point out is the fact that the first person that voiced their concern only heard that 57-second little teaser. There's 15 to 18 minutes of full music, so they only heard, a tiny snippet of it. And that snippet is me belting, at the top of my range, totally just going for it because it's the rock section. So really interesting feedback from Manny. I was like, I'm concerned, like, what if people see this and it's not a good representation, it's not the best representation of me? What if it's their first time that they come across me? But then I'm like, but part of my mantra and part of what I do is I just release everything, because quality is subjective. What I think may be really bad, somebody may love. What somebody may love, I might think is really bad. Who is to decide what quality is? And my concern with not posting it is like, that is my frustration towards the music industry and musicians in general. So many musicians are so perfectionist struggle with perfectionism so much that they say, okay, I want this to be perfect, that they never end up releasing anything. And I have so many friends, and I talk about this all the time, that don't release anything because they want it to be perfect, and it's just not where they want it to be in their head. And Manny was like, yeah, that's a great point. After I said all that, he's like, well, how about this? He's like, this is an interesting perspective too. He's like, yeah, somebody might find it, but and may not like it, but like if you don't post it at all, then there's definitely no chance of anybody finding it in general. And I was like, shoot, that is so right, man. Like, yeah, I could post it and there could be potentially somebody off put by it, or I could post it and somebody may love it. And me deciding whether or not to post it, if I don't post it, then I lose all opportunity of anybody ever liking it or any discovery. And I was like, that's really good perspective. And I'm like, to be honest, like there have been things I have scrapped, and never posted. But for the most part, I post a lot of stuff, even if it's not great, because one, it shows progress. And two, like, quality is subjective. Like, who's to say what's good, what's not good? And I already booked the next one. So like I already have something next to post, and my concern with not posting it is the fact that I don't want to get too caught up in this linear, in the moment fear of music, in the sense that like I could really see myself being like, well, what happens if this A&R rep sees this one song and it's not the best performance of my voice, and they get caught and they see that, and then my music career's over because they didn't like it and they don't put me on the tour with this band, and they don't. And that's not, I don't think, how it works. I think it's a linear, long-term graph of trying this and trying that, and maybe this person didn't see that, but this person saw that, and that this inspired that because I posted this. I'm now better at this. And I think it's not so much situational 1, 2, 3, 4 each individual situation. I think it's a long-term path. I think it's really hard to mess up that plan as long as you're consistent. Another thing Manny said was like, yeah, maybe your voice isn't perfect in all sections. He's like, I obviously heard some not so great notes. I was like, yeah, me too. Obviously I know that there's some not so great notes. He's like, but maybe like people might not care because maybe they're listening to how the guitar sounds so full, or maybe the drums sound really cool, or the bass, or this riff, and there's 1,000 different things. He's like, honestly, like it's not bad. It's like it could definitely be better, but like that's what you're working towards. And it's like, I don't know, after talking to him, like, you know what, you're right. Like, I want to show progress. I want to document the process, and who's to say who's the judges? And if I don't put it out, then there's no chance of anything good happening. So I don't know. So that's I just want to share that thought process because it's kind of just all the thoughts of as a musician. I think we all struggle with this, and I really don't want to get caught in this, like, putting so much pressure on every post, putting so much pressure on every song that if this song fails, then I fail as a musician, or that it could mess up my plans. I mean, like in my lyrics for the song Fall Into Place, it talks about the fact that like I'm afraid that if I mess up one thing, it's gonna mess up everything, if that makes sense. Like I'm afraid that I'm gonna mess up the plan by making the wrong choice, and it's like I don't really think that it works like that. I think as long as you're on the right direction, it's gonna all things are gonna work out. I don't know, it's a bit of a rant, but I want to share that because I think it's really important to consider, and that's my perspective, and I really want to try to stay true to that. And it's so easy, especially as more eyes come onto the platform, and I'm meeting more people of a bit more quote unquote gatekeeper influence. Like there can be added pressure when I was getting 16 views on a video, like it didn't really matter if it was good or bad as much, where now it's like if people that I admire their success or can see the video, like it puts in this pressure. But I don't think we should add that pressure. I think you should still go into it with that naivete or naiveness of, what if nobody sees this video? Just put out the content and let the audience decide if it's good or bad. And you know what? 6 months from now, if I do something, or when I do something phenomenal, amazing, and it hits and goes viral, like this one or that one or the other one that's not that great isn't going to matter in the end. People don't remember the losses. They really only remember your wins. And really interesting quote that I heard from somebody else. Babe Ruth, who is an American baseball player from a long time ago, is one of the top, and known for being one of the top home run hitters. But he's also on the list of top strikeouts. People don't talk about the fact that he's on the list for top strikeouts. They only talk about the fact that he is on the list for top home runs. You know why he's probably on the top of home runs? One, he's incredibly talented, but two, he got up to bat. And every time you get up to bat, it's an opportunity. You can strike out or you can hit a home run, but if you don't go up to bat, you don't have the opportunity to hit a home run.
Most times I tend to overthink, afraid to do the wrong thing and mess up plans I think I have, and slow down. My plans of getting there